the year 3000, there are no countries, no cities. Earth is a wasteland, and man is an endangered species. As the leader of the evil Cyclos, Turl and his race have taken over the world's natural resources and disregarded everyone and everything else. It's up to Johnny, a brave human, to battle the Cyclos and restore normalcy to the world. This week we are talking Battlefield Earth, a movie that Hollywood tore to shreds and, in our opinion, wrongly gutted like a freaking fish. This beautiful piece of cinema has only a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, for God's sake. Today, we're going to tell you just how wrong the idiots of La La Land got this film and why you should be watching.
Movie boys.
Our Buddy Travolta. What a refreshing take on a classic film.
We are arming the homeless. Movie boys.
What's up, everybody? It is time for Certified Cinephiles. What's
Movie
up,
boys.
Patrick?
What's up, Bill? It's time for some movie time. Movie boys.
I'm having a great time over here, but before we begin, we just want to say to our audience out there, please leave us a review and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
It's the best way to help our podcast succeed. And this week, we'll be reading a review that we got here. This review is from
I love reading reviews.
Brent Engel. Gave us a 5 stars. Thank you, Brent.
Wow, thanks,
this one's
Brent.
titled My Brothers in Science. What a refreshing take on a classic film. Even better from a pair of Scientologist brothers in arms. It's the science that binds us, brings us to light from our hollow skin human shells. Both Patrick and William share their love for Scientology, film arts, and the plague of Hollywood biases. My brothers, may science guide you both into the great orb. Wow. Well, Pat, now you just got to join the church.
Do you know this guy? That's not true.
No,
I'm not
no,
part.
I
I'm
don't.
not a. This isn't a Scientology podcast. Who? Do you know
It's
this Brent
not.
guy? Do you know him?
I don't, but I can't wait to meet him. Because as you know, William Woods here in Los Angeles, have been making. I've been putting out a lot of the feelers to join the Church of Scientology. Everybody has this. I personally had this misconception that you can just walk over to the Celebrity Center, pop on in, and they greet you with open arms. Bless you. But that's not.
See
the
that?
case.
I'm
It's
allergic
actually
to this
very hard.
bullshit.
It's very hard to join the church. So I was making great headway. I met with some people outside on Hollywood Boulevard, and then next thing I know, they don't want me to play pickup basketball with them on the weekends. And that's cool. I'll watch from the sidelines. I know I'm not very good at basketball, but I can definitely be one of the boys.
My goodness.
Wow.
No, I
But
don't.
you're right, Pat. That's not why
Brent-
we're here. That's not why we're here.
Brent, thank you for the 5-star review, whoever you are. We appreciate it. It helps our podcast out greatly. But don't get it twisted. Just because my co-host here, William, has dipped his toe into waters that I do not necessarily agree upon, does not mean we are a Scientology podcast. I do not have any affiliation with the Church of Scientology. If you are, that's fine.
Technically, neither do I.
And you should
But
stop.
fingers crossed.
No, you should stop with all of this. They're not.
If you think about it this way: Elizabeth Moss, Moss, the lead of Handmaid's Tale, basically lives at the Scientology Center. I mean, you go there on the right day. You go there on the right day. You're gonna shake hands with Elizabeth freaking Moss, and obviously everybody knows
not
Tom
a good
Cruise, and
reason.
everybody knows what's her face from King of Queens. Well, I guess she's excommunicated, but here's the thing: is, as some of you may know, I am an actor, and it turns out that I have been told I'm actually very bad at acting. And then I was like, okay,
That's
I'll be a
kinda
writer.
true.
And they said, well, this is terrible writing. And then I tried comedy like Patrick. And then I also have been booed off stage several times because apparently people don't like Daniel Tosh or Anthony Jeselnik style comedy anymore.
No.
Guess
People
what?
people like that style of comedy, but you can't just rip those guys off like you did. I keep booking you on
but
my
I
shows,
riff,
and you just
man.
keep. No, you
Dude,
can't just steal
riff.
jokes from famous comics like that. You're gonna get booed off stage.
If they're more famous than me, look, top tier. Yeah, we're gonna get to the movie in a second, but I mean, Pat, seriously, I know you can agree with me on this. If the joke has been put out into the world, it's been said, that's free reign. You can now, any comic can now use that. That's the curse of being a comic.
That's not how it works at all. Comedians take it very seriously, stealing jokes. You can't just do that. It's not vaudeville anymore.
I think that's a tomato thing. I think maybe in the Denver scene, with it's a very tight knit group. I think I could understand that, Denver comics don't want to take stuff from Denver comics, but in LA, it's just, no holds barred. Like, go for it. If you've heard it, go for it. And, when I've tried some of my own written material, and, because I don't know if people know this, but I was invited to Mensa before at a very early age. Just, even in elementary school, some people from Mensa showed up to my school. They got me out of class. They said, "Hey, do you want to join Mensa?" And, at the time, I just didn't know. I was in over my head, so I actually declined. But
you were really busy.
Turns out
you were really
I'm very
busy.
Smart, so yeah. And so I know that I'm really smart, and I know that I have a lot to offer, but I feel like a lot of my comedy goes way over people's heads, unless they are in fact smart. But if they're dumb, they're not going to get it. Wouldn't you agree?
You can't keep. I mean, somewhat, but you can't just keep you can't keep saying Jeselnik jokes. It's not. You can't just keep doing that.
Well, they're funny as fuck.
You're gonna get ran out of LA. But speaking of Denver,
not if I join the Church of Scientology. Speaking of Denver, what?
Speaking of Denver, where does this movie take place?
This movie takes place right there in the Rocky Mountains of Boulder, Colorado, in the year 3000.
Right where I'm sitting, Kerr could have been here drinking Kerbango.
That's absolutely right, Pat. What? Give us your thoughts on this movie. I mean, this excellent piece of work. Just really quick note to all our listeners: we are switching up how we're doing the pod. We're not going to walk through the entire plot because I know we have a million improvers that we're going to throw into this. Yeah, but the right wing chat, they really let us have it. So
we banned a lot of my dad's coworkers, the bikers that were in the chat. They started kind of doing some unsavory emojis and things like that. So we've hired a couple new moderators. We don't want to be the cops, but if you keep trying to do racist emojis in the chat, we're gonna ban you.
Yeah. Also, not that. Okay. So first and foremost, I just felt like, they just had a lot of bad things to say, and I'm not a goat fucker. I don't believe in bestiality at all. No. And I don't know what they entirely meant by that, but I'm certainly not gonna fuck a goat, nor do I even know where to find a goat if I wanted to fuck a goat. Think about the logistics of that.
Absolutely.
Think about the logistics.
You'd have to find it. Where are you going to fuck it? Just where you find. You can't fuck the goat where you find it. You have to take it somewhere. You need a means to travel with the goat. What are you going to ride the goat to a hotel? No, you got to have a truck to drive the goat to a hotel, and then you have to go book a room, and then you have to somehow convince this very stubborn goat to get into a elevator to go up to your room. And then finally you're in the hotel room, and then you fuck the goat. It's just not practical.
Dang, Pat, that was a lot of detail on how to go about sexing up a goat.
I don't know. I've thought about it, but I've never do it. That was T-Rex. T-Rex he was one of our most infamous chatters, and he was setting us off. He was pissing us the F off.
We got new mods. Thank you, mods.
Dan Hammer. Ka-cha!
Claire and Ian. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Ian. My two cousins.
Couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I was going to say something else.
Okay, so lay down your initial thoughts on this movie, Pat. What are your overall thoughts on this movie?
Okay, Scientology aside, because I didn't know this movie was Scientology movie.
It's it was like pretty much, the movie's based on L. Ron Hubbard's book
by the same name.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Read it.
L. Ron Hubbard was a sci-fi writer until, he received these visions that guided him towards founding the church. So, it kind of just goes to show. I know this is another tangent. I'm gonna let go of it, but it just goes to show how far creativity gets you these days.
Yeah. I think he should have just stayed in the realm of sci-fi. Because he has some really great. I loved this movie. Like I'm not just gonna say I didn't like it because it was written by L. Ron Hubbard. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it just because of that, because it was an awesome movie. I mean,
yeah,
this is one of my favorite John Travolta performances I've ever seen. It's crazy good.
Yeah, he was.
I thought he stole the show.
Smokes. Mm-hmm.
I thought Forrest Whitaker Forrest Whitaker, I would say, is a better actor than John Travolta in the macro or whatever, but in this movie, John Travolta acts circles around Whitaker. I loved it. Acting really pulled me in. The acting is what pulled me in.
Yes. I feel like that's really what drove this movie. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off on that.
No, I wanted to hear your opinion.
Oh, good, because as you probably could tell, I was chomping at the bit, ready to talk about this. I felt like this movie was, from start to finish, an orgasm. I I don't say that word lightly. I felt like this movie was an absolute
you're pretty sex negative. You don't really like talking about sex, so yeah, for you to call this movie an orgasm.
For everybody out there, I don't come. I'm actually anti-coming.
What do you call it?
Anti-coming.
Oh.
I don't come. I don't come.
How
it's
long have
not
you been
for
doing
that? About 3 hours.
Oh, that's it? You just started.
Yeah, 3 hours. I'm sick
just
of it.
Since you watched, since you finished the movie. You finished the movie about 3 hours ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
is that what happened? Well, okay, my thoughts really were that this movie is truly an orgasm. Every single character is laying it out on the line. I mean, Hollywood itself threw $80 million at this amazing feature film that just shook. Shook the world. I mean, this is the year 2000 that this movie is made, and it took place in the year 3000. You had me convinced. I was losing my fucking. There was actually a point in the movie where I felt sick to my stomach, and that was from how dizzy I felt because of the flight simulator. But that's a specific we won't get into. I felt like John Travolta laid it out. There wasn't John Travolta playing a cyclo. That was the head security officer of this Earth mining expedition. John Travolta was Turl. And I have never seen Travolta that tuned in. And Forrest Whitaker, wonky eye and all, was also tuned in. And the energy was palpable.
Yep.
I couldn't even catch my breath for that movie.
This thing drained you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved this goddamn
drained
movie.
me.
Like I am looking up what the cyclones look like from the book. Like, I guess there's some illustrations. And they look really scary, actually. They look kind of like an elephant warrior type. I don't know. Sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's spooky, really scary. So I love what the movie did by turning the cyclones into kind of this cyber goth kind of look, you know?
Oh my God. I couldn't get enough of it. If I could dress like that now, I would. You
can. What's stopping you? What's stopping you?
I don't know how to start. There aren't makeup tutorials on how to look like cyclos on YouTube. And I've tried. I've looked. I really have.
Trial and error.
I
love the big boots. Didn't they look so cool in those big boots?
Okay, the boots were literally everything.
Yep.
They literally were everything. We're not talking, I mean, Johnny, who he's one of the fittest freaking people I've ever seen in my life. Doesn't get more fit than him. Such a hard body. He was an ant compared to the cyclos. And those boots go to show that they had huge appendages, huge hands, huge claw hands. Yep. And their dreads were beautiful. And their eyebrows, gorge. And
big claw man. I'm gonna read a
beautiful.
I'm gonna read a description of what a cyclo looks like. The cyclos are a race of hairy, 9-foot-tall, 1,000-pound sociopathic humanoids. So it's in their nature to be sociopathic.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
That does draw some connections for me.
Yeah, because there was times where I was like, okay, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, totally. Like I said, I like movies like this. I've said this in past episodes. I love movies like this where, kind of borrowing from Lynch's school of thought, where the scenes don't have to connect and it's just this dreamlike quality to it. And I loved that with this movie. I loved the action scenes. I loved the artistic choice of maybe the way they shot these and edited these. It made it seem like they didn't get enough coverage when filming, which I think is a very cool choice. And then they use all this slow motion on all this footage that wasn't intended to be in slow motion, and it gives it a really cool, blurry, dreamlike effect. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they shot consistently what they call Dutch angles, I guess, in the industry. Which I didn't know, but a Dutch angle pretty much means they put the camera on the ground and then
put a rock under it. They put a rock under it.
They just put a rock. They definitely put a rock under it, so that it in no way is straight or fits really any sort of proper angle of
when
cinema.
I first started watching this movie,
it makes you feel extremely confused.
The first couple minutes of this movie, when I first started watching it, I was like, wait a minute. Am I drunk? Was the director drunk? What's going on? Why is everything so... Is my goddamn TV on a freaking... Is there an earthquake happening? Why is this... Everything's crooked.
But that's the year 3000 for you. That's the year 3000.
Everything's a little crooked. Because the cyclos came to town.
It's crooked as shit. Yeah. The cyclos... Yeah, the cyclos are crazy, and don't you dare breathe their air. Their air is fucked up.
Dude,
it's methane based.
Yeah, sicko freaks. Yeah, and I think I love the way the cyclos work. I love how they're always backstabbing and betraying each other, because that is such a good way to advance a civilization. It's just it really says something about the strength of the cyclos that they can be so egotistical and backstabbing and still be the conquerors of the universe.
Yeah, you can never trust their word.
No.
So, Pat, let's lay it down. For the listeners out there, we're going over what we call 5 moments. And so in this section of the pod, we're going to go over 5 different moments that we each have our opinions on. So, Pat, You're going to lay down your first moment that you felt you wanted more of. Then you're going to lay down a moment that left you speechless. Then you're going to lay down a moment that made you cry.
Okay.
And then you're going to lay down a moment that you figured is a God tier scene. Doesn't get better than this.
Wow.
You would never in a million years change it for anything, and you think it's the best. And then finally, and much to my own dismay, but it's true, what is one moment that you might be able to agree with the critics on?
Interesting.
If there's one.
Interesting. Ooh, that's gonna be tough for me. On the scene that I wanted more of, that I just I wish never ended. I don't know. There's a few that I really like. I loved the scene where John Travolta's character Turtle, he gets wind that Johnny, I guess the main character, Johnny, has shot one of the cyclos dead with one of their own weapons. And John Travolta comes out and he's like, "Impossible, a man animal can't shoot one of our advanced weapon guns." And so he makes another cyclo, another grunt, give the human another gun. Prove that he can shoot the gun. And then the cyclo's like, "Please don't make me do this. He could kill me." And,
I just watched him do it. I know he can do it again.
And he does. And guess what? Johnny smokes this fool too. And you know what?
He smokes this fool too. Absolutely
and I
amazing.
love this scene because it's the first scene with John Travolta. I think it's his intro scene, isn't it?
It is his intro.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it shows how ruthless it. No, it is. It's definitely his scene. And so what would you want more of with this?
I kind of hoped that he still wouldn't have believed it and he would have brought another guy over and been like,
yes. I completely
give him
agree.
your gun too. And then he shoots that guy.
5 or 6 more times would have made this scene.
I was thinking maybe
incredible.
6 or so. Yeah. I think that would be great. And then at the end of the scene, freaking John Travolta's character is just like, "Ah, shucks," you know? And it's just so ruthless. He's like, "Oh, fascinating." He's so mean. What about you?
He's mean, but he's a queer icon. I'm going to say it.
Whoa,
the scene I wanted
giant
more of,
sassy boots?
The scene I wanted more of is going to be, and this scene really takes the cake for me in the movie. And it's where towards the end of the movie where a lot of shit has gone down and our buddy Travolta, Turl, has to sort of explain himself to a lot of the upper management of this mining company planet. And he's laying on the ground and he is propositioned by a female cyclo. And what a tongue she has. And she gives one of the best lines of the movie where she says, "I'm going to make you as happy as a baby cyclo on a straight diet of Kerblango." Holy smokes. I mean...
Yep. And Kerblango is
scenes,
the alcoholic beverage that they're always...
Yes.
So
it's
these cyclos are...
boozy drink.
So it's like the equivalent of like a horny woman being like, "I'm going to make you happier than a baby on Jameson." You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And
fucking awesome.
In scenes in movies that have turned me on. Red Jasmine as a kid. Was a sexual awakening for me. When Jasmine's
Aladdin?
trapped in Aladdin. When Jasmine's trapped in the sand.
One of my first crushes too. Her and Misty.
Yeah, Misty was incredible. But this scene, this scene's right up there with me. And let me tell you, I wanted more. I wanted more of it. I wanted to see a lot more of it. And
you wanted that tongue to go farther.
That tongue was thrashing around, and I could have in that moment just started drawing. I could have started. I don't even know how to draw, and I could have just started drawing my own pictures of these two cyclos going nuts.
Set up a DeviantArt
on
account.
One another.
Set up a DeviantArt.
Yeah, I need to learn how to use Procreate on an iPad and get really good at illustration, so I can draw these cyclos just tonguing each other's parts.
Or even maybe we could, maybe someone that listens, if anybody in there, any of our listeners is a talented artist, maybe you could draw. We will let you be on the podcast if you draw enough of these sexy pictures for Will.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what to do, I would like to see the female cyclo's tongue inside Turl's ass, but then also do one of those like close-up X-ray shots where it shows the inside of his sphincter and the tongue.
Well, like how about if just well, how about if someone's like interested, they can just kind of DM you, and then you can go into more detail about it. Then we don't have to do it on pod like this. Is that okay?
Sorry,
I understand. I
got ahead of myself.
That's ironic though, because that scene scared me. That tongue scared me. I was frightened by it. I was really getting horned up. But once she pulled that long tongue out, it scared me. It's not my thing.
It was startling, and for that I loved it. But I'm sorry that pure eroticism frightened you. But it's not for everybody, and I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
But
I celebrate all kinks and fetishes. So yeah, someone please, if you are a good artist, hit up Will and draw him. Basically, cyclo hentai, I think is what he wants.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, really, if you're, especially just saying, if you are a medical illustrator and you know how to draw all of the body parts with extreme detail, that would probably be more so what I'm looking for. Something with extreme detail, specifically on...
what were the other ones? What were the other ones you wanted me?
So what is a moment that left you speechless?
Speechless.
Speechless.
I mean, that tongue one did leave me speechless. Let me think. Yeah, baby. All right, we need to stop. We need to stop talking about that scene. You're getting.
We'll move. Okay. Well, all right. No more.
Oh my God.
Well, we will eliminate tongue scene from the rest of the conversation.
Okay. Thank you. A scene that left me speechless because I was laughing so hard. Oh my God, this exchange had me what is it? Rolling on the floor. Raffle? Rolling on the floor laughing. This one had me rolling. When he's learning the cyclo language, when Johnny, the main character, kind of looks like Legolas. When he's learning, they like basically send him into this room, and there's this hologram of this language specialist, which is like a different species of alien that they had like enslaved, and it was like a pre-recorded hologram. So the alien's like, my people may be extinct by the time you hear this. Who knows? Wait, no, I'm getting two scenes mixed up, I think. I did like this scene. This scene didn't make me laugh.
This one.
The scene didn't make me laugh though. I was thinking of a different scene that made me laugh. I did love this scene because then it goes into the learning machine, which is awesome. Can you explain the learning machine?
Okay, well, first and foremost, Pat, I absolutely agree with you that this scene did leave me speechless, almost on the verge of crying, because But not I do have to say that I was actually more sad than anything. That
Why?
this master learner was enslaved by the sickos, and
Oh.
his final message to as an intro to, hey, I'm going to train you and tell you all this information, was a suicide note.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That man,
he's so
that man
sad.
was
His
so
demeanor.
depressed.
He's like kind of a slimy snail guy.
He was saying his wife and kids have been killed. He's like the only remaining person
Klinko.
of
Yeah, his
of
race is called
his-
Klinkos.
And by the time that they even come out with this tutorial video, his entire population will be extinct.
Yeah.
So
They just use this ultimate cuck. That's a species cuck that the Cyclos have done on the Klinkos.
absolutely.
And I'm not
For
making that
being
up. It
so
is
knowledgeable.
Klinkos. You're laughing at me,
And so
but it is.
It kinda
Chat
was.
does not think it's actually Klinkos, but it is. That's actually what it is.
it's the Klinkos. All right. Okay, people in the chat, seriously. Oh god, they got around it. The mods.
Are they saying
Mods.
goat fucker again? Mods, I thought you banned the word goat fucker. Oh, they're putting a space now. That's smart.
Oh my.
Can we ban the word goat too from chat?
mods? We don't need goat
And
in
the
there.
goat emoji. And the goat emoji. And the goat emoji.
Please. I can't look at this chat. This is
Just minimize it.
again,
dude.
guys. Okay,
I'll keep
look,
an eye on
I hate to be
Stop bullying
I
Will.
hate to be this kind of
every
guy,
week.
but please, if you're going to be saying these things, all of this hate speech, I'm going to have to turn off the chat. This is absolutely awful. Ooh,
Claire.
that hurts. Claire, please.
Stop looking at it.
Please. Okay.
All
All
We
right.
gotta stop getting distracted
The knowledge
by
machine is absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, Johnny goes from man animal to certified genius in
chat. Uh-huh.
moments. They plug him in
It-
and he's just being force fed knowledge, like as if he just straight, like the episode Jimmy Neutron, where if you just eat a book, you eat a book, then you learn it. This man,
Yeah.
poor Johnny, it looked like it hurt, but he loved it and he learned so much.
In fact, like there's two of his other enslaved man animal friends come in and they pull him out of it, and he's like,
They
"No,
pull him out.
this
Pull
is
me
the
back."
secret. We need to learn about them if we ever want to escape their clutches." So they actually put him back in it, and he learns
Yes.
all about science. He learns math. He explains everything pretty much to these cave people in their prison cell by
Yeah.
writing it on the floor.
He explains what a triangle is, and he explains what water is.
He explains
And it
Euclidean
absolutely-
geometry. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Euclidean
And
geometry and
biomedical. He teaches them everything.
Yeah, water and triangles. They don't quite get it. They don't have the brain. They haven't been in learning machine. But Johnny,
Yeah.
he's on. He's turned on.
Yeah. And
So
I
hey,
did
we both
I did
agree.
appreciate
This
I
scene
will
left us speechless.
I hate that I'm doing this, but I will tip of the cap to Mr. L. Ron Hubbard, Lafayette Ron Hubbard, for just the appreciation of knowledge and science. You know, that's kind of the core value of this movie. And I appreciated that. Is that kind of one of the main tenets?
Of Scientology?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. Let me think. Okay. So I was just at this pizza party and they went over this.
They went over. You don't know. Well, like, what's like if you had to boil it down to
main
one
thing.
point, why are you there?
Okay. Yeah, the main thing is that if you are trying to break into the industry in LA, you have like this connection of people that you can
Wait, you're
lean on.
you're
That's
only
like a core tenet of the Church of Scientology.
so
That's
you're
like what
let me-
really.
Will, are you just trying to get entrenched in the Church of Scientology so in hopes of getting acting
it big?
roles?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, on any given day in the Celebrity Center, Elizabeth Moss could walk
Elizabeth Moss, yeah.
in.
Handmaid's Tale.
Tom Cruise has his own Scientology center, but he
Mhm.
could show up.
Is he ever there? I doubt he's ever there.
He could be. He could be, but he's pulling some Mission Impossible shit doing his own stunts, so you never really know. You never really know about Mr. Cruise. And, there's
Just don't
tons
lose
of-
yourself. I'm afraid you're going to lose yourself.
No, see, that's where I think that's a common misconception about Scientology is you don't lose yourself. You gain a better version of yourself.
I've just seen too many documentaries and things. Will, I'm just worried about you.
Yeah, like right now, I'm just on a rice cleanse. And so, I mean, you can see I have bags under my eyes. I'm pretty pale. And it's just because my body's going through a metamorphosis. I'm just going through a metamorphosis.
How long have you been eating cooked rice?
So, not eating cooked rice. It's raw rice. And that is all you eat, along with water.
Uncooked rice. Like, doesn't that kill birds?
No, that is actually a myth.
They thought they stopped throwing rice at weddings because it killed birds.
Yeah,
because it was expanding their stomach.
Some baloney.
You're eating raw rice for every meal.
Yeah, you have to. And then so I've been doing that for almost a month now.
No, you don't.
And I don't really have like much energy, but I can feel like I'm definitely, a lot of things are making more sense. The state of flow. I'm definitely flowing a lot more. And this movie makes this movie makes a whole lot more sense once you've done the rice cleanse. And so I only got a couple more weeks of it. I'm gonna see it through. Yeah.
You haven't been. You need other nutrients.
Well,
I'm gonna come over and cook you a meal.
That's capitalism. Capitalism wants you to think that you need other meals. All right.
You at least cook the rice, Bill. Don't let it cook the rice.
I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't. I don't even know how you do that. And so we're on to a scene or a moment that made you cry.
Okay.
Because this movie had a couple of those for me, but what was the one for you, Pat?
When they find his man-animal girlfriend and they have a big thing around her neck, and he tells Johnny, because at this point Johnny knows Cyclos, so he's able to speak with the Cyclos.
They're basically BFFs at this point. They're basically
Turlo
BFFs.
and Johnny?
They're basically BFFs at this point because Johnny just had a gun to Turl, along with an entire gang of men willing to beat Turl and kill him. Yeah, and there's this great speech, and Johnny just hands the gun back to Turl, saying, "Look, I'm not going to do it." But then what happens?
Because it wasn't the right time.
Of course. No, but what happens because of that, Patrick?
Well, if this movie's about one thing, one word. This movie's about one word.
What is it? What's the word?
Leverage.
Oh, shit.
This movie's about
said
leverage.
It. Go off, King. Go off.
And man-animal Johnny, our main character, our human ancestor. Well, I guess we're his ancestors because he's in the year 3000. But he thinks he's finally figuring the Cyclos out. And what happens? John Travolta shows that he has the upper hand because he has Johnny's girlfriend, and she's in an explosive neck ring, explosive neck brace, and
that can be detonated any point, no matter how far away on this entire
Anywhere
planet
on
of
the
Earth,
planet.
it can be detonated. The stakes
And then he's like, let's
have
see how
just
it
gone
works.
through the roof. Oh,
And Johnny's
God.
like, no. Because at first he pretends that, I don't know this bitch. Shit, I don't know this bitch. But then
Which goes to
he's
show
like,
just how smart Johnny is.
yeah. But then
Talks
freaking
about
the
how ugly she is and all
Cyclos.
that.
Yeah, ugh. The Cyclos catch the bluff, and they know that it's Johnny's girlfriend, and basically they just show a different, they put another brace on a different man animal that's Johnny's friend, and they make him explode. And I wish they showed it, but they didn't.
No, but they did something just as dramatic, and they showed the reaction of Johnny watching as his friend exploded.
No.
And what that meant to him. The anger in his eyes, the fierceness.
Heartbreaking.
He was so upset.
I was crying. I was leaking.
So upset.
I was leaking.
Let me tell you the scene that made me cry. I
I can't wait
Kerr,
to hear.
played by Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest
friend.
Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker played Kerr, the character. Best friend to Turl, played by Travolta. Kerr has done nothing but look up to Turl. He's been his assistant from day one.
Uh-huh.
And we don't know the lifespan of these cyclos, but for all we know, they're lifelong friends. And at least that's what we thought about Kerr and Turl. Until Johnny makes it clear that Turl has been fucking over Kerr this entire time and has every intention of selling him out to the home planet, the Cyclo planet, and
just backstabber.
you can
just filthy.
You can feel the heartbreak with Kerr.
You really
'Cause
identified with Kerr.
Why should he trust a man-animal, a stupid man-animal? There's no way he's correct. But what if he is? Could my best friend Turl do this to me? Oh my God. Oh my God. And
you were such an empath.
I could cry. I am an empath. It's actually really funny that you bring that up. I have been told by pretty much everybody that I meet that I'm an empath. And I actually went and got a neurological evaluation by the psychic a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Spent my savings on it, but totally worth it because I am now officially a licensed empath in the county of Los Angeles.
You can get a license for empathy?
Yeah, you need one actually
a license
to practice it. Well, it's not just
shouldn't everyone practice
but basically it's kind of the world would be a better place if it was, but not every human is built like that. Just like how we have Kerr, a cyclo with feelings, and Turl, a cyclo without. So now hit me up on Fiverr. I will give you an emotional reading if you're feeling numb, if you're feeling lost in your emotions, and you don't really know what emotion you're feeling at that current moment in time. It's just $500 for a 15-minute session with me, and I'm going to diagnose your emotions for you, tell you exactly what you're feeling and what feeling, and we're going to move your feelings to feel better. But that's not what this show's about. No.
Dude, would you give me a free one? Would I have to pay for a reading?
I'll give you a discount. I'll give your friend discount 10% off.
10%? You won't even give me a free one? I'm one of your best friends.
I had to...
We're movie buds. We're movie boys.
Look, we are practically brothers in God at this point. But I did spend $30,000 on my license, and I am...
Wow, that's quite a bit of money, Will.
It's a rough start. Yeah,
Is that what happened? Is that why you had to sell your car? Is that why you had to sell your car?
Yes. Yes and no, but my spirit guides just are really tuning into me right now out here in LA. And these past couple weeks, I've really found out a lot about myself.
Will, I
And
love you, but you are so
that's just a
susceptible
little
to
bit-
grifts.
I
You're
don't
getting
know who
ripped off
Griff
left and
is.
right out there. LA is eating you alive. Come home.
I don't know. I think a lot of people think that about Los Angeles, but actually, it's a lot nicer than the movies make it out to be.
You're eating
If I was into
uncooked
Griff's, I would
rice
go
for
live in
every
Anaheim
meal.
at Disneyland
What?
for just a couple more weeks. Yeah, it's a cleanse. It's a cleanse.
Can we? Okay, my next pick.
Okay,
My next. What? I think
I was
you're
gonna say,
kind
wait,
of
you never
getting a
been on a
little
cleanse
grumpy.
before?
Not an uncooked
I'm not
rice
grumpy.
cleanse. Okay, what? Well,
All
let's.
right.
What scenes do we have left to do?
We're talking about our God tier scene, and then after that, we got to say what's the scene or the moment that you actually kind of agree with the critics on.
Oh yes,
So give me the God tier scene. Give me the God tier scene. Hey,
Are you ready for this?
Hey, I'm walking here. Yeah.
Hey,
God
I'm
tier
walking
scene.
here. So the Cyclos play this sick and twisted trick on Johnny and two other man animals. They let them go thinking they escaped, but they have little cameras on them. They let them escape so they can find out what their favorite meal is. Again, for leverage. But the Cyclos aren't as smart as they think they are. They think they're smarter than they are. So they're watching Johnny and the man animals run away from them. And it's cold out for some reason. It's snowy out. They're starving. They're famished.
Freezing out.
And
They're famished.
the Cyclos logic doesn't really add up here. I think it's a good scene showing how dumb they actually are. And they find a big rat.
They're
and
arrogant.
They're arrogant and sociopathic. But the man animals find a rat, and then the Cyclos are like, it's Turl and Kerr, and they're like, oh wow, they must love rats. So they just assume that because they found a rat in the wild and that's the only thing to eat, that's their favorite food. And they're like disgusted by it. It's a very funny scene. I thought the scene was hilarious. And it's just hilarious.
It's a great
scene.
Relief.
Yeah, and it was great. It showed the difference between the two races in a way that really kind of showed what the movie was going for.
Absolutely.
The Cyclos are arrogant and dumb.
Living in a cyclone and I'm gonna do it again. Right?
Like a cyclo, girl, like a cyclo.
Do it all night long.
Like a
Let me tell you
cyclo.
okay, this was actually a really hard choice for me to make.
yes.
I felt like there was so many God tier scenes.
This
and
was
so
a God
I
tier
will
movie.
briefly mention my second cut. So runner up to my God tier scene is of course at the end where our brother, one of the men, probably one of the hottest guys in the film, and he's sacrificing himself with a nuke, and he nukes the entire fucking planet. And that truly is the runner up to the God tier scene.
Beautiful.
But the God tier scene that's gonna take the freaking cake for me is when Johnny first gets locked up, and there's this head honcho who ends up being one of his best friends, and he says, "I eat first, and then my men eat first, and then you eat the scraps if there's any left, along with everybody else."
I forgot this scene.
Yeah, Johnny beats the living shit out of this guy. Beats the shit, kicks him like a freaking bag of rocks. This man gets so pummeled. I can't believe that he's still alive. And of course, he gets knocked out with his face full in this food. And of course, the food is supposed to be slop, but it looks like some delicious guacamole to me. So I'm just thinking,
a trough full of guac.
You know, how
I was
bad
thinking
is
guac too.
Yeah. I was like, how bad
Trough
could
full
this?
of guac?
How bad could this prison be? You got a trough full of guac.
I was watching this
right
movie by
there.
myself. But if someone was there
Yeah.
watching it with me, I would have turned to them and I would have said, "Where I'm from, guac's extra. They're lucky."
Hey, see, that is funny. And is that a Jesselnick joke?
No, that's
Is
me.
that
I just
Jesselnick?
came up with that.
Damn, dude.
I wouldn't
could've-
rip off a Jesselnick joke.
That was funny, dude.
purpose.
See, that's why it's your thing, and that's why I go Jesselnick stuff. But yeah, that's the guy tier scene.
You can't do that.
I know I can't. So Patrick, if there is any, and I have to admit, personally, there is for me. What is something that you agree with the critics on?
Something I agree with the critics on.
Yeah.
I didn't like when they shot the horse.
Damn. Yeah, that one.
And
was
it
messed
pissed
up.
me off. And I was ready to turn the movie off. They shoot the horse with their big stun gun. And
Yep.
it was upsetting to me. They shoot Johnny's horse with a big stun gun. And and then that big fat guy jumps off the ledge. Stupid. I hated that scene at the beginning when they shoot the gun with the big.
That's really interesting that you said that. Yeah.
They shouldn't have shot the horse.
I actually thought that his jump. I thought his jump was amazing. The horse lives, by the way, which was great. Thank God the horse.
Yes,
lives.
it runs home, but still, you shouldn't have stunned it.
Warhorse style. There could be an entire Battlefield Earth movie that's just like a Warhorse movie about this horse's return home.
I think they put a tracker on it. That's how they find I think the horse gets bribed by the Cyclos and it goes back to kidnap the girl.
That's something, if you read the book, you kind of get, it's like Animorphs. Like, you're not going to really understand the movies unless you've read all the books.
And that's what I like in a movie.
Plain
I like a movie. I've said it 1,000 times. I like a movie that requires auxiliary homework. I like having to dig in and find the lore. I'm a lore whore.
He is a lore whore, and he's got a tattoo to prove it. That's for sure.
I got my lore whore tattoo.
It's a lower back tattoo that says lore whore.
Yep. And it's got an old-timey pirate map above it. Yeah. X marks the spot.
Yeah, that's gotta
anyway,
be the best tattoo. Okay, so for me, the scene that I agree with the critics on is when they're just shooting the legs off the cows. They're shooting the legs off the cow. Well, Turl's just shooting legs off cows. And those cows do not make it out alive.
I freaking blocked this scene out.
Yeah.
I PTSD'd this one out.
Now
you're reminding
taking
me.
out these legs. That was animal abuse. Animal abuse, not going to stand for it. I agree with the critics on
we both had animal
being
abuse gripes.
We did. That was, absolutely my one problem I had with it.
Movie boys.
What's going on, Certi Cinees? Just a reminder that Certified Cinephiles is brought to you by the Instagram profile Beast Investor 4. His previous profile was flagged by the cowards of Instagram and deleted, but not to worry, he's back in action. Do you want to make millions of dollars? Are you interested in purchasing prescription drugs without a doctor's visit? Well, then Beast Investor 4 is here to help. It's really simple. Just open up the app, the Instagram app that is, search Beast Investor 4 and message away. But don't forget to mention Certified Cinephiles for 10% off your first purchase. Again, make sure to mention Certified Cinephiles in the message for 10% off. Now back to the show.
Movie boys.
And we are back. Okay, so we have this movie is famously written terrible reviews for. The critics, when it first came out in the year 2000, absolutely despised it. The movie
this is
itself,
just another case. A lot of the movies we've been having on this podcast are just cases of being ahead of their time,
Yeah, and
This is
honestly, pure negligence from the coward critics of the press, in my opinion.
Just small-mindedness, just closed-minded groupthink.
Yeah,
Stupid.
and obviously we have 1 million people in our camp. We probably have far more numbers in the camp that agrees with us than the bozos that wrote these reviews. But again, this movie has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is a culmination of all of the reviews, old and new, old press and new press. This movie, with a budget of $79 million, had a huge amount of press, and everybody from the Chicago Tribune to the AV Club has written a review about it. So we're going to go over some of those. Let's start with Richard Scheichel from Time Magazine. Already sounds like a stupid name.
Sounds like a piece of shit.
That's the guy that, speaking of geniuses and Mensa and all that, Richard Scheichel sounds like a freaking dumbass. Richard Scheichel
Fuck off.
He only had 6 words to say about this movie. And again, this guy writes for Time Magazine. Who hired him? Talk about nepotism, am I right?
He wasn't getting paid
the worst
by word.
No, he certainly wasn't. It sounds like he did this one on the crapper, if you ask me. He says, the worst movie in living memory. Okay.
That's nuts.
If that is so true, Richard Scheichel, have you seen the movie Hitch, starring Will Smith? Have you seen the movie Land Before Time?
The Hurt
Richard
Locker?
Scheichel? The Hurt Locker? Jarhead? These are all movies that actually are bad and nothing like this. I mean, this movie it not only takes literature and celebrates it at its finest. Yeah, exactly. This is a movie that predates Harry Potter being put into movie theaters. This is a movie that predates Lord of the Rings being put into movie theaters. This is so far ahead of its time, and
I don't know why they get so much flack for having
celebration of the millennia.
When I heard the budget was $80 million, my reaction was, "That's it? This movie looks like it had a budget of $500 million. It looks amazing."
Yeah, this was truly some James Cameron shit. And they made it work with 80 mil. Holy smokes. There is a scene there. It's a flight simulator scene. And Pat, I talked to you about my trip to Universal Studios. This movie was produced by Warner Brothers. So, no surprise that it's not Universal, but that flight simulator could very well have been a ride. Because I was about to freaking barf. I was like, holy smokes, is this for real?
Yeah. Gee, mister, am I about to throw up? Yeah.
And seriously, shout out to the Transformers ride at Universal Studios, because if that ride would have gone on for seriously maybe even 5 more seconds, I would have thrown up. And I wouldn't say my day would be ruined because I can make myself throw up and be fine. No problem about that. But very close to throwing up. If you're a freak for throwing up and you want
fucked up
some
because you
sickness to
just got uncooked rice in your stomach.
Oh, on the contrary, my friend, that day I actually had a Mountain Dew. Got a little wild to cleanse. So,
just got sucked up by all the rice. I wish you'd eat something.
On to our next review. Okay, this is a review written by Jack Matthew of the New York Daily News. One of the darkest, ugliest, most uninvolving and incomprehensible major studio fantasies I've ever seen.
What?
Let him have it, Pat. Let him have it.
This is ignorant. This movie, first of all, beautiful. I love the Dutch angles shit. I love that they just put the camera on the ground and put a little rock under it. I think it gives it a very realistic look.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that the cyclos look like goddamn cybergoths. I think it's cool. He didn't get it. When was this one written?
This one was written right when it came out in 2000. I think that
this
Jack
guy had
Matthew,
small brain.
he had no idea how dark our reality was going to get. This predates 9/11. This is
So true.
pre-Iraq war. This is pre-weapons of mass destruction.
This movie has the spirit of a movie that knew what was to come, though.
It does.
There are warnings in here.
There's so many warnings. I think they show what could possibly be present-day New York, and I don't see Twin Towers, so that's just something to note. Something to note.
And most of the movie takes place in destroyed Denver, and let me tell you, a lot of my favorite spots are gone.
Yeah. No watercourse, no City O City, no high dive, no Spencer's Gifts at the Colorado Mills Mall.
Nope.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye to all my favorite 7-Elevens.
Shout out 7-Eleven.
Goodbye to
Shout out the BP on Broadway, and maybe first that my friend Craig got an extra $20 bill on an ATM before Warped Tour.
That's cool. I'm going to go hit that up after this.
Yeah, it's the same BP that we almost stepped in a giant human pile of shit because the city of Denver, hates houseless people. So what, you can't let these people take shits like human beings? You're going to make them shit on the side of a wall of a gas station?
Yeah, you can't. What? These people can't just shit in the front of the. What? They should be able to shit wherever they want.
Let them shit where they want. Let them shit wherever they want, and give them the choice to do it. Damn it!
Give them a guns. Give the homeless people guns.
Give them the guns. Seriously. Shout out to give them the guns movement. It's gun rights for houseless people.
Such good work.
It's putting arms in the hands of the people that truly need them. So
hashtag give them guns. We are arming the homeless in every city in America. Check out the hashtag on Twitter and Instagram. Both of us are really passionate in this project. Hashtag give them the guns.
Give them the guns. And our final reviewer, this is one of the top reviewers of Rotten Tomatoes. His name is he's famously known as Carlos M. He's done over 12,000 movie reviews. And this man gave this movie a certified rotten, which absolutely ripped him of all respect and dignity that I have ever had for him.
Idiot.
Yeah, so this is what Carlos had to say. Worse than its ridiculous overuse of Dutch angles. Okay, just right off the bat, is this the bad guy from Ratatouille? Is this the lanky twink from Ratatouille?
I've never had fun in my life. I forgot how to have fun. I don't like Dutch angles. He doesn't get it.
Oh my God, Patrick, that gave me chills. Himself. That was the best impression of that guy ever. And I just went to Disneyland with my brother.
Ratatouille, come here.
Gave me chills.
Ratatouille, come here. Let me kiss you. Let me caress your ears, Ratatouille. Ratatouille, come here, Ratatouille. Oh, get out from underneath that man's hat. Bring it in, Ratatouille. Look at your tail.
Where's Remy go? Where's Remy gonna go?
We gotta finish. We gotta finish
Where's Remy gonna go?
We can do that
Worse
later.
Than its ridiculous overuse of Dutch angles, color filters, and cheap special effects. Again, $80 million, you dumbass.
$80 million
is how
doesn't
overwhelming, illogical this dreadful piece of junk is, with such a colossal amount of plot holes and incoherences. Okay, Carlos, were you not watching the movie? What plot holes and incoherences?
There's literally no plot holes.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Okay, if Carlos M knew what he was talking about, he would give one example in this review. But guess what? I don't think he freaking does. No, he hasn't got jack shit to say. He ends his review by saying, however curious and amusing it is to observe the many ways it finds to get worse. Oh, shut the fuck up, Carlos M.
What a smarmy skunk. This man's a skunk.
You know what this review reminds me of? You got a book report due and you completely forgot about it, and you're sitting at your desk, and so you make shit up, and so the best way out of a book review of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that you didn't read is to talk about how much you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's potholes. There's incoherences. Carlos, why don't you shut the fuck up?
My name's... Sorry, I got the neighbor's dogs are all riled up too.
No, I agree with that dog. I agree with that dog 100%. I should get my dog barking over here.
Yeah, let's get more dogs barking in the chat. My name's
Pat,
Carlos.
Can we give Carlos M? Let's give him the Dumbass of the Week award.
Okay, yeah.
Insert that right there. Insert that right there.
Carlos M, Dumbass of the Week. You did not get this movie. You didn't get it 20 years ago. You probably still don't get it. Shame on you. Shame on your family. And you don't deserve to watch movies.
Carlos M, this is what I have to say to you. I feel bad for you. I take pity on you. I feel like your existence is one of the saddest experiences of human life. You have
Let him know.
the ability to experience life. You can touch the ocean. You can kiss the sky. You can smell fresh air. You can take shits in plumbing. There's plumbing services where you can actually go to the bathroom, which a lot of the human race up until now didn't have that. And this is your take on one of the greatest pieces of entertainment and art. Fucking art. We're talking about art here. You wouldn't say this about Picasso. You wouldn't say this about Van Gogh or Rembrandt. You are absolutely a despicable piece of crumb. Dirt. Absolute trash.
You know who did? You know who did talk shit about Picasso and Van Gogh? Their critics when they were alive. Small-minded idiots who went with the monoculture, who just go on agreeing with what's popular instead of really challenging themselves.
Yeah, putting powder on their ass and wigs on their nuts.
Putting the work in. Chafing. You're going to chafe. You got to put the work in and really think. You're going to chafe, but you will come to the conclusion that this movie was simply ahead of its time. And I hope that Carlos knows that. When did he write this review?
In 2012.
You small-minded idiot. Even 10 years later, you didn't know what this movie was. This movie was 20... People now still are just finally coming around to it. This movie was over 20 years ahead of its time.
Absolutely.
Genius.
And on that note, we implore you, if you have not seen this remarkable film, Scientologist or not, it probably would make more sense if you weren't a Scientologist to enjoy this movie, because it wouldn't feel so heavy-handed and you wouldn't feel so confused why you haven't been invited to the church yet. But we implore that you watch it. Implore.
I don't know about any of that. Today. You learned the word implore?
Yeah, I learned it.
Dude, how'd you learn that?
I learned it on a tweet about George Bush saying the Iraq war instead of the Ukraine war. And somebody said, I implore you. And I was like, what's implore mean? And that's the word I found out.
Oh,
and that makes sense why Trump was saying, he was saying implorable.
Deplorable?
Was it deplorable? That's a word I need to know.
Your brain is losing it. You've been eating raw rice for the last 30 days. You need to take care of yourself.
And
you need
I
to get away.
Can't recommend it enough.
No.
Tune in next week while we go over another one of Hollywood's most underrated and shredded to its bare bones by the stupid-ass idiot Illuminati critics of Los Angeles, and we bring you a beautiful piece of cinema to review. If you have The time, again, leave us a review. Please leave us a review, especially if you're none of Patrick's dad's friends. And
come
let
join
us know
the
what
chat.
you think.
We got all the chat's way less toxic now. Come join the chat. We got all those bikers
Thanks,
out
Claire
of the
and
chat.
Ian, our moderators.
Yeah, shout out to our moderators.
This has been a Patrick
shout
Piss
out to
Productions.
Shout
out to Brent Engel for the review.
You don't have to keep calling it a Patrick Piss Productions.
But that's what it is.
You don't have to say.
That's what it is. We're going worldwide, like G Unit.
I've never called anything G-Unit. Thank you guys. This is Certified Cinephile.